What's up, Internet? We are here with a menu page. So this is on my GameCube. I've cropped out my GBA player borders, but this is a Everdrive for the Game Boy Advance. I recently acquired this for free because I bought a game from everyone's favorite color with two sets of repeated letters, vermilion with two N's, and he included this just for free, and also a really expensive piece of hardware I am still trying to figure out, but I'm very grateful. But I now have an Everdrive on the Game Boy Advance, and I've been messing around with it a little bit, just want to see what games are on it, and thought this might be a fun little thing to stream. I've had this for a couple days now. I've played a few titles on my DS in bed, but the problem with that is my DS is, well, it's a DS Lite, but it's very, very old, and it has like a battery life of 10 minutes. So across several days, I've played maybe 7 games, and 2 of them, one of which was one of those GBA video things, kind of froze. So I'm just sort of more or less testing to see what this thing can do. I'm thinking for the first game what we should do. I don't know how long this is gonna go for or anything, but if it's here, Klonoa Empire of Dreams. We're gonna play this because Vermilion sent this to me and he recommended it, and I quite like Klonoa, the first game anyway. So we'll play this for a little bit. Now, if I ran into one immediate issue with this device. And this might be comparing apples to oranges, but I've got a bunch of GBA. We'll continue and see what happens. Alright, so there's already some save file there, but it's not completely messed up. So we got tons of room. I don't want to like overwrite existing save data if there's a lot of memories and cherished happiness there. I'd prefer not to write over that if I can help it, but This might be comparing apples to oranges, but I do have a bunch of GBA multi-carts, and they have like a background overlay thing you can put on. I think the macro is like holding L and R, and it'll just like pop you to the main menu. I don't think there's anything like that on this, which on the DS means that you have to shut the whole thing off and power it on again. I think with this thing on the GameCube, I can just say switch games, and then just it'll reset the whole thing. As long as I don't, like, pop out the cartridge. But, yeah, not having an instant macro to just go back to the menu, that's kind of unfortunate, I think. But there is something really cool I just noticed before I started streaming this. There's a feature where if you just press start on the menu, it'll boot you into the previous game you just played. That's pretty cool, actually. I kind of like that. So if you're really into one game and you just want to focus on that one game, you can just automatically go there without having to sort through everything. That's pretty cool. I like that. Now I'm curious what Klonoa game this is, because there was like 3 Klonoa games on the GBA. I want to say 2 were like enclosed environment platformers, and 1 was like a top-down game. I think that was exclusive to Japan. I think. But all this stuff was already on here on a memory card. Again, he didn't have to send me this thing. He didn't have to send me a memory card. He didn't have to send me the piece of equipment he sent me. But Vermilion, he's just a really nice guy like that. And I really appreciate it. And this is really cool because apparently you can put like GBA, GBC, original Game Boy stuff on it. And I have to say, I was that kid back in the day where I would run around with like the ugliest, like ultra blue fanny pack with my Game Boy in it and like 30 games just because I wanted to have all my games on me. And of course you couldn't take all of them with you. And the first game you wanted to play when you were on a trip and you had 30 games with you was like the one you left at home, of course. But if I can play all the Game Boy games at any point, that's pretty cool. Now again, the problem is I have to deal with my DS being the biggest piece of crap ever, and I need to get like, well, honestly, I want to get an SP just because I think they're better. They're more form-fitting. That's one thing I don't like about the Switch, just in general, is people call it a portable system. But for me, and maybe I'm weird about this, the benchmark for something being portable is that you can fit it in your pocket. And I don't know if I just have tiny pockets, I can't fit a Switch in there. You know, the SP and the DS and even the classic chunky Game Boy, those can fit in your pockets. The Switch, not so much. And at least the DS with its touchscreen could at least protect it using the clamshell fold-in design. The Switch's touchscreen is just there, ready to be scratched up with whatever's in your pockets. I don't know. I prefer to keep my Switch in its console mode. Alright, so this is one of the enclosed environment platformer things. This, you know, the funny thing is, and I'm not sure it's on this cartridge, we can take a look, but this reminds me a lot of an import series I have on the GBA SP. And it's a weird series because there was like 4 games and none of them were the same. But one of them was exactly like this, and it had like the most absurd name ever. I think it was called Dangerous Grandpa or something like that. It was a very, very weird series of games. And I think I've got all but one of them. They were dirt cheap. But like 2 of them are like top-down adventure games. One of them's a platformer like this. But I like Klonoa. It's a solid series, you know. This will mark the second one I played. I did have the original on the Wii. Unfortunately, that is a very rare and expensive game nowadays. But I do have a Japanese copy of the original. I do also have the PS2 game in Japanese. Although I've never had a chance to actually play it, which is a shame because I hear it's really quite good. But Klonoa is... honestly, I think the one character that really needs to be in Smash that no one ever put in Smash. Like, I just think he would be perfect for it. And he's just a cute little mascot character. Although this particular version is a bit of a redesign. He did go through 1 or 2 of them that made him try and look a little bit, I don't know, cooler. When they made him, or remade it for the Wii, they wanted to initially give him like a super new, like super edgy design that no one wanted, so they went backwards on that pretty fast. And just went with his classic design, which is for the best, I think. But it's, you know, it's a pretty simple gameplay style. You know, you pick up a box, you throw it, you use the things you capture with your wind bullets as platforms, you move on. You know, you can't call Klonoa a typically very hard to understand game. It's very simple, but, you know, that works out very, very well. And when you've got a simple to understand game, at that point all it comes down to is execution. If you can execute it well, then you've pretty much got a classic on your hands. At least I think. It's a little bit trickier the moment you start making your games a lot more complicated, because not only do you have to worry about your players understanding it, but then execution and everything else on top of it. It's a lot more complicated at that point. And I've said this about a bunch of things, like Banjo-Kazooie or like Panzer Dragoon, where, you know, the original game is an absolute classic, whereas the second one might be objectively better, but I'm not sure I'd call it a classic just because it's harder to get into. Just because there's so much more you have to flood the players with, and it's just... because there's so much you have to teach your players, it just becomes immediately less easy to just pick up and play. And I think that, well, being able to pick up and play a game instantly is not necessarily a requirement for a game to be good. It certainly helps a lot. Let's see, matching a door with a key. Okay, so find the thing that matches the thing. Got it. Alright, how do I... okay, got it. Grab this. There are a couple games I'd like to get to. Again, I don't know how long we'll play any of these things, but, you know, there's 1 or 2 Game Boy games I'd like to get to. One of which I've actually... I played a little bit the other night, just to kind of remind me about it. It was a game I mostly just bought for the developers surrounding it, because it was developed in my hometown. That's really it. It was a Game Boy Advance game I had to buy just because, you know, it was made where I lived. And it turns out I wasn't the only game developer in, like, a 1,000,000-mile radius. So you gotta support that stuff, even after it's, you know, not gonna give the devs money because the games are all used at this point. But, you know, the Game Boy Advance was a really cool system for me. Like, I think that the Game Boy Advance was the moment where I really thought that handhelds had basically caught up to the console experience. And I don't mean, like, visually or anything, but I mean, like, in the sense that there's just a different mentality behind, like, trying to make a Game Boy game versus, like, a Super Nintendo game. Like, one game is just going to be a lot bigger in scope and typically has a lot more money put towards it, typically has, you know, a lot more bug testing, you'd hope, at least, and, you know, just has a lot more scale in what it's trying to be, because it has a lot more space to work with, of course. And the Game Boy Advance, to me, always felt like the point where a handheld was actually, like, basically being a console experience. Hey, Vermilion! I took up your offer, and I'm playing Klonoa for a little bit. It reminds me a lot of one of the 4 Dangerous Grandpa games, also on the GBA. And I'm not sure if those are on here. We could try and take a look. But, yeah, you know, the GBA, to me, always came across as, like, the moment where handheld games felt like console games. And I'm not really sure that, you know, aside from the Switch, for obvious reasons, I don't really think handhelds ever really got there again. Like, the DS was great, but there's just something about the DS that just feels different than everything else. Oh, cool. Well, I'll take a look then. I thought I looked up 1 or 2 things the other day, and I couldn't find them, but I can't think of what they are right now. But we'll take a look and see if we can find the weird Japanese game that's kind of like this that I own. But I definitely want to play one specific game, and then maybe also the game that was made in my hometown for a little bit. Maybe Metroid as well, because I like Metroid. As much as I put Metroid Dread on my worst game of the year list, it knows what it did. It deserves it. Sad thing is, that is a otherwise great game. It's just like, it did one thing horribly wrong, and it just kind of taints the whole experience. I'm not playing your save file. I did actually take a look to see if you had the other files occupied, though, because I didn't want to overwrite yours. Because, you know, that's a bit of history right there. I don't want to get rid of that. So I took a look to see expressly if I was overwriting your save file, and I did not. Yours will forever be on here. As like a digital memory. And I may have soft-locked myself. Uh-oh. You, get over here. Ugh. Yeah, I didn't really play many Wii U Virtual Console games, honestly. Like, the Wii U Virtual Console really bugged me because... Well, first of all, I think it was a lot worse than the Wii Virtual Console, but it also didn't help that the Wii U Virtual Console did not have access to a GameCube port. And now I'm stuck, so I'm just gonna... We'll swap out and play something else. I think there was one GBA game that I played on the Wii U, and we could actually play that right now, because I did play a little bit of it. We'll do that after I see if I can find Dangerous Grandpa, because this is just curiosity at this point. This is PAL stuff, isn't it? J, alright. Let's see, it should be under D, I believe. Dancing... No. Okay, it might actually be under something else. I gotta take a look now. Quick to my Game Facts account where I can see my entire list of things because it's probably under the Japanese name. And it was probably sold to me under partially English names. Alright, let's see. All the Starfy games. I like those games a lot. I have to review more Starfy games. I did the first one. I gotta do the other two. Golden Sun 2. I gotta do that at some point. I really have to talk about the Mega Man Battle Network games at some point as well. Alright, here it is. It's of course under the Z, because of course it was. Okay. Alright, it should be under Zetai Sume Dangerous Jisan. Alright, now which one was it? Because there was like 4 of the things. One of them was a platformer, the others were not. Okay, so that one is not it. So what was the really good one? I think this is the 3rd one? Yeah, the 3rd one. Okay, so we're looking for the 3rd one. This one. And this should be kind of, sort of, vaguely in the same vein as Klonoa. At least similarly in that it's a 2D platformer that exists in little, like, confined maze areas. Also, I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be, like, some kind of comedy series. That's about the extent I can tell you about it. All I know is I've got 2 of them, and there's 2 I'm missing. And there's a lot of awesome faces and sound effects. I also remember that. I've not tested out the Retro Tink just yet. There's one thing about it that I don't quite get. But I'm hoping to at least test out and bring back some of my old component cables with the PS2. Alright, where do I have to go in all this? I don't remember this stage at all. I think I used a pre-made save when I first played it. I would like these games to be translated just because they seem very weird. Ah. Momentum physics. These are weird games. And I'm betting they're slightly less sensible if you actually watch them in Japanese. At least in English you can kind of make up whatever the hell's going on. It might make sense. I do believe that was Momotaro. Sound effects, because sound effects are funny. Can I go on now? Yay! Something happened. I wish you could skip all this crap so I could actually get to, like, the platforming stuff. Here we go. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of that Klonoa game we just played. Very simple platformer, not terribly complicated. I'm about to die because I'm inept. I think that's enough. I just wanted to see if that was actually what it was. Alright, yeah, that's fine. Again, if this had an overlay like my multi-carts had, where I could just pop back into the main menu. It's not so much a big issue here on the GameCube, just because I can just basically say insert new cart and say, yeah, I did it, and it's okay with that, but the fact that it doesn't have that, as far as I can tell, it's a little obnoxious when you do it on the DS, because you have to go through, like, all of the DS nonsense. Alright, the game I really wanted to play was... where is it? Oh, they had the Knights thing. That's cool. Alright, where is it? Close. SHSI. Okay, I'm seeing something that's not here. Unless it's under, like, PAL, maybe. Let's find out. If not, I'll play something else. There's lots of things I could be playing right now, evidently. Lots of Battle Network games. Oh, I would love to, but I don't think too many people would appreciate it. Here it is. Sigma Star Saga. We're going to play this for a little bit. Because this is a weird game by good old Way Forward, who I'm convinced can do no wrong. I mean, they made Shantae and the one really good Double Dragon game. But this is a weird game. Because it is a top-down adventure game mixed with, like, an action RPG with randomized encounters, but also every encounter is a randomized shmup. And that's awesome. And I think the audio might be a tad loud. Hold on. I'm just going to turn down the audio just a scooch, because that seems a bit loud on the playback. This is one of those games that I think no one ever really talks about on the GBA, that I think is really quite good. And I think it's definitely like a hidden gem. Although I think it's also gone up in price a fair bit since I last looked. I got my copy. Oh, I want to take damage. But, you know, furthering my whole, you know, what I meant about the GBA being sort of like a handheld actual console experience, it reminds me of my birthday in grade 8. Because I believe Sonic Heroes just came out. And I got to get a birthday present from a Toys R Us. And I got to pick whatever I wanted. And I ended up, like, picking either between the GameCube Game Boy Player, which is what I'm doing right now, as well as a Game Boy Advance game, or Sonic Heroes. And I ended up picking the Game Boy Player, which, even though my GameCube is basically being held together with hope at this point, I still love with a passion, and I think I absolutely made the right choice. And, you know, being able to actually play these on the big screen, it was just such a cool idea. It doesn't hurt that the game I got with it was just awesome. But, like, you know, there's so many games on the GBA that just feel so just quintessentially GBA. Like, you just wouldn't see another system with these games on it. Like, I cannot imagine another system with Golden Sun on it, even though, like, DS got a sequel to it. You know, I cannot really fathom a system that could properly do something like Mega Man Zero justice other than the system it was on. The Battle Network series, I don't think could really work off the GBA, really. And, I mean, the fact that something like Star Force exists kind of proves my point, because I just don't think Star Force was any good. Oh! Which one did you get for $10? Oh, you can go faster with B. I should actually, like, pay attention to my control scheme. You know, I just feel like the GBA was something really special that we've never quite gotten back to. We've never really been able to capture the spirit of the GBA. And maybe that's for the best, because the fact is, nothing will ever quite be like the GBA again. Oh no! Oh, you got Dark Dawn, nice. That's a pretty hard to find game, too. I got so scared because I thought I lost my copy. And Golden Sun is such an important game to me. Like, I really desperately need to actually go and review the sequel. Because the first Golden Sun was a game I reviewed forever ago. It was one of my earliest reviews, and I still think it's probably one of my more viewed videos, too. I feel like I need to go back and do that. Also, Boktai, I reviewed that forever ago, and that's one of my more watched videos, and I've never bothered to do the sequel. Yeah, the GBA really only existed for a very small pocket of time when you really think about it. The funny thing is, like, when I got the GBA, it wasn't even for GBA games. I got it, I went from the original Game Boy to the GBA, just because I couldn't play Game Boy Color games on my original Game Boy. And specifically, I wanted to play the Zelda games. I am really bad at Sigma Star. I am way out of practice. But I love it. It's a cool game that I think more people need to play. But, you know, I just think that the GBA was a really quite special machine that kind of created a home console experience on the handheld. And the fact it actually had, like, home console games on the handheld didn't hurt either, I guess. It also did some really weird stuff, like, it had those weird, like, Game Boy movie things, which were weird. I actually tried to play one of those on this thing. It crashed before it ran. I don't think this thing can actually run those. Which is, you know, no love lost for me, but still. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, basically, instead of, like, buying a game for your GBA, you could buy a cartridge, which I think was an abnormally large cartridge, too. It's just weirdly big. But you could get it, and on that cartridge, you could watch a very, very awkwardly, badly compressed episode of Pokemon. And bear in mind, I'm not saying you could get a season of Pokemon. I mean one episode. And it was slow, and it didn't really play all that well. It was horribly compressed. It sounded awful. It was weird that, you know, people tried to do that with the DS. Like, at that point, and bear in mind, this was around the time that the DS was about coming out. Those came really late in the game. You know, at that point, it would probably have been more practical just to hand someone a old, scratched-up VHS of, like, a Pokemon episode trying to watch it on your GBA. The fact that they tried to do that was impressive, though. I appreciate the experimentative spirit of that, not necessarily the execution, though. The execution of that was pretty awful. Alright, here's where I get my ass kicked by a boss again. I also don't think I can play Boktai on here. I'm just gonna take a bet and say I can't play Boktai on here unless it's a hacked version. This would be a lot better if I had health. Okay, I'm gonna play this really awkwardly. Yeah, I know there are hacks of Boktai. I really want to try the third one just because I've never played Boktai 3. It's the only one I haven't played. And I am such a huge fan of Boktai. Well, the first one anyway. Ah, crap. Alright, let's try something else. I clearly cannot Sigma Star to save my life today. Alright, what else should I play? Oh, I know what I'm going to play. For only a few minutes, I think, but I feel like I need to. Just for some personal reasons. I'm going to play Scourge Hive. This game is important to me. Because it was made in my hometown. And I don't think anyone ever played it. It was also one of those weird games that appeared on the Game Boy and the DS with like 0 changes on the DS. But this was kind of a neat little game. It was like a top-down, well, not quite top-down, more like an isometric sort of Metroid-y style game that desperately wanted to take the story of Metroid Prime, basically. Or Metroid Prime, Metroid Fusion. And I do have a save file, because I actually started playing this the other day. So we've got this weird virus we're collecting. We can't let it overtake us, but we can at least have a little bit of immunity towards it. You can kind of see a hazard meter at the top of the screen. There's a leveling system. It's a pretty cool system. I like this game. Although isometric games do not agree with me all that much. I do quite like this game. If only for, like, I don't know, national pride, I guess. I think I do have a gameplay video of this I made forever ago on my channel. It's not a bad game, but it does feel very rough around the edges, and it has pretty much all the trapping issues of isometric games, where it's just kind of awkward to figure out where you are when it comes to platforming. If I recall, very early on, you get like a grappling hook, and you can start moving platforms and enemies around as well. It's pretty cool. But it's basically the plot to Metroid Prime, or Metroid Fusion, with a virus taking over that you can now absorb, but you don't want to take too much of it. And your bounty hunter is trying to, like, catch the virus or figure out what's going on because of the virus or whatever. It's definitely... The developers really wanted to take inspiration from Metroid Fusion, which, going back to a little while ago, was, like, the only Wii U Virtual Console game I played. Because I never had a chance to play Metroid Fusion, and I always wanted to. Metroid Fusion just seemed like such a cool game to me. And to be fair, at least at that point, I had never played a Metroid game. I hadn't played a Metroid game until the Wii, when I finally played Super Metroid, and Metroid Prime 2, and the original Metroid Prime. It's a key. Use it for key-related activities. I don't know why, but like the throwing orbs with your gauntlets reminds me a lot of Crosscode. Crosscode was a neat game. It's a shame its dungeons were awful. I want to say I like Crosscode, but I'd be lying if I said that the dungeons didn't make me want to hate it. It's otherwise a great game, though. I mean, it was Terranigma meets Yoshi's Island. With, like, a really fun parkour system. Alright, let's open that door. But you know, saying that this did show up on the DS, I just struggle to see like a game like this on anything else. This just seems very, or at least in general, everything on the Game Boy Advance just felt very Game Boy Advance. You know, it felt like it was its own unique thing that I don't think could ever really be replicated again. And I'm not sure I'd want to see something like Game Boy Advance again. It's like a very special thing, and the moment you try and recreate the experience of it, or the feel of something, it feels like, first of all, you're going to make a knockoff, but you're just ultimately going to make something that's going to make what made the original so special kind of less so, you know? It's like if you had a very special game and they tried to make a sequel. Like, yeah, it's great they're making a sequel to it, but then suddenly the first one's less special, you know? I kind of felt that way about the new World Ends With You. Like, it's a good game. It's got a bunch of issues, but it's a good game. But at the same time, now there's another one. You know, suddenly the first one is a little bit less less special. Grabbing experience, because we need it. I think I need the grappling hook thing for that. So we gotta look for power-ups. But you know, this is kind of like Sigma Star. I think it's just one of those games no one ever really played or talked about, and it deserves a lot more than that. Alright, we got some lore. We need to get ourselves a grappling hook. Which I do believe is down this way. Which is impressive I remember it, because I haven't played this game in forever. Alright, go down this way. I believe we've got a boss fight. Which will mark the second one. Or just a challenge, whatever. Basic puzzle completed. Get the thing. And now we've got a grappling hook. And now we're going to run out of that death hole. Go away, explodey skulls. Alright. Alright. Let's grapple the thing. Things have been grappled. Oh, you know what we could play? Thinking about it. We could play Star X. I think that's a game no one's ever heard of either. That might be interesting. Don't want to access lore. Want to jump on thing. Why no jump on thing? Jump on thing. There we go. Now this is where isometric becomes a bit of an issue. I'm surprised I made that jump. Alright. I think there was a relatively good Wing Commander game on the GBA as well. I never had a chance to play it, but I've heard it's pretty good. Tried to get it a couple of years back. Didn't have much luck. Oh. No, want to go up. Alright. Whoa there, camera. Alright. We got this. Run, 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 run. I don't know if this is where I need to be. I'm just not a fan of how busy some of these areas are. It's surprising how many isometric games I've played recently. I guess I'm in a moment where I'm just playing isometric games because of randomness. Played Willy Wombat recently. That game was really fun too. I think I need 3 of those keys though. We only have 1. I think we're about to die too. Yeah, okay, we can't access that because we don't have enough keys. There's a key though. Can I grapple this? No. What can I grapple to get up there? I can't make that jump. Okay. I don't know what just happened, but I'm not complaining. Oh, that was nice of you. Appreciate you replacing the battery. That means it's something I don't have to freak out and worry about, because I wouldn't know how to do that. Okay. Level up. There's the key we need. Alright. I think we're pretty close to a boss, too. I think once we get through that key door, there's a boss. But I'm working on memory of the last time I played this was years ago when I had to record for it. Okay. Well, if it's easy like that, that's good. I'm not technically apt. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how to update my satiator with hopefully a better BIOS so it actually gets read. Because I tried to do Saturn Day yesterday and I spent like an hour power cycling this stupid thing because it didn't want to go. Love the thing. Wish it would work more consistently though. And I'm trying to remember like the link to the overlay you sent me because I think that might run better. I'm hoping. There we go. Okay, well, if the screw's on its standard and you just replace the battery, that's pretty simple then. And there goes our infection rate. We are now decontaminated. But yeah, I think this is a pretty cool little Game Boy Advance game. Also, it's a DS game. Can't go that way. We can go this way, though. I'm getting old adventure game vibes. I don't have a torch. I can't go that way. Ooh, upgrades. Okay, well, I know where that is, but I don't think I can get there yet. Or it just doesn't look like there's a door there. Woo! Yeah, I'm hoping the rings are going to play better. I tried to, when I first got the satiator, I tried to use the rings and I disliked how slow it felt. But if it makes the actual physical hardware actually get detected easier, I will absolutely switch. I meant to do that today and just kind of didn't. But, like, that's my problem is I love my satiator. I hate that it takes, like, over an hour of power cycling to try and get to not boot to this stupid action replay screen. Alright, run. We need power-ups. Is that power-up? That looks power-uppy. I guess not. Stop exploding. Or do it somewhere else, explosion-y thing. Okay, I can't grab that. Can I grab this? Does not appear to be the case. Well, let's go this way. Uh-oh, we're trapped. Stop spawning things so I can kill you. Now, if I position myself slightly to the left, I could probably better do this, but the problem is it's going to keep spawning things on top of me. Okay, new plan. Hit the time things and hope it works. I think there's another one somewhere. We get up there. Okay, okay, okay. I might have no health, but I think I can do this. Okay, okay, okay. Run, 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 run. Throw that there. Missed that horribly. Missed the timing on that. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I only have 5 health left. And I just whiffed that pretty bad. Oh well. Yeah, we'll swap games. What do I want to play next? Yeah, we could do Star X, I think. That might be interesting, because I don't think too many people know about that game. Let's see. S. Star Wars, Star X. It's a game that sounds like another game and will look like another game. And you're going to know exactly what that game is in a sec. like that the USA copy has the options to select Netherlands as a language, because the USA version, of course, would be released in the Netherlands. That makes a lot of sense. Start. Don't care about plot. Give me Game Boy Star Fox. Give it to me now. Oh, you can really feel that they designed this with a really awkward control pad that doesn't quite translate well to the GameCube stick. It's very touchy. And if we go through all these rings, Falco will fly by and say, pretty smooth flying, and then you get to go to the secret boss, obviously. You know, for the longest time when I first played Star Fox 64, I didn't realize you had to fly through those rings to unlock the boss. I didn't get that that was just like a weird esoteric requirement. Like, saving Falco, okay, I get that. He's the guy who figures out what the thing is. Okay, sure, but why do I have to fly through these rings? Like, I'm not opposed to the style points, I just don't understand the logic to it. Meow. Ah. Is there a global? Is Pokemon global? Because I swear that there was, like, specific country versions of it. Like, I remember a version of Pokemon Emerald that was released only in Spain, that was only Spanish. And, like, Pokemon was, like, weirdly only one language per version. As far as I remember. So I remember I was having trouble finding, like, one specific version of it, and it's like, oh, no, it's... This version, it's cheaper, but it's only in, like, Dutch or whatever. It's like, well, that's not that helpful. I can't read German. And yet, I, you know, still somehow managed to play through good old Pokemon Silver in Italian without being able to read it. Oh, okay. Interesting. You know, this reminds me, for the longest time, I had an idea to do a series, and now it kind of doesn't matter. But, you know, when I started my YouTube channel, if you went and looked for GBA games on eBay or whatever, pretty much all the ones you would find were, like, these pirate cards. And that's still mostly true. You'll mostly find, like, really bad pirated versions of those games, but the pirating process is so much better now that you don't really have to worry about it so much. But it was a big deal for me, because when I was in high school, I bought a bunch of Game Boy Advance games as a birthday present to myself. Specifically Harvest Moon 64, Sonic Pinball Party, Mega Man 04, and there was one more. I can't think of what it was. But those were all, like, hacked versions that didn't work. Except for Harvest Moon. That one worked, but it had a battery that died. And said battery died, like, not immediately. Like, the others basically had batteries that didn't work and couldn't be detected properly. Harvest Moon, I had played for the 100-year anniversary in-game to get the special house for that. And then my battery died. And that sucked so bad for me. But I remember being so annoyed about that, I immediately took to studying, like, the differences between the pirate versions of GBA cards and the original, like, proper versions. I was going to make a video about it at one point. But, you know, by the time I actually got a camera to do, like, physical stuff like that, I got a bunch of pirate cards that showed that, you know, there are lots of pirate hacked versions and bootleg versions of stuff out there, but they're basically good enough at this point that there's no reason to do it. That said, shorthand for wanting to find out if your copy of anything on the GBA is authentic, does it have a number stamped into the sticker itself? Because Nintendo's had that for their cartridges since the dawn of time. Is the Nintendo seal of quality metallic? If no, you've got a pirate version. Is the cartridge slightly thicker than the others? Like, if you struggle to just slide it into your GBA, you may have a pirate cartridge. Yes, now the Everdrive has everything. And if I can put original Game Boy and Game Boy Color stuff on that, I can just have that all on my DS, on lock, and just play it in bed, and that's awesome. I think I'm still going to have to try and get an SP, though. For years I've been saying I want to get an SP, and I've just never done it, but my DS has, that's a face, my DS battery lasts 20 minutes, so I really, really need to get something to play GBA games, or a better battery for my DS, or something. But yeah, this thing is very, very cool. You know, I've been looking at pirate handhelds lately, because there are some that look really genuinely interesting. There are two that are, I think, just coming out right now that might be able to do, like, emulation stuff for the Dreamcast, which is genuinely very interesting. I just remembered I had bombs. That's good. Oh yeah, which ones have you been looking up? Because I would love to compare notes, because I would like to know about some stuff. Like, my birthday's coming up, and I might be able to ask for, like at least a little bit of money towards something. So I'd like your thoughts on some stuff. Yeah, I've been looking at the Metroid Pocket 2. That's the cheaper option. I saw a huge video on it today. It seems like it can do Dreamcast stuff pretty consistently, which is exciting. That's the main thing that interests me, is stuff being able to emulate Dreamcast, because that's not really a thing that happens. And I'd be curious to see something do it proper. I'm also curious about the Odin, because that thing is supposed to be amazing, but it's also, like, ridiculously expensive, and it's not out yet. But it's supposed to be coming out, like, a week or so. And that can apparently, like, do Dreamcast. It can do, like, everything if you get, like, the Pro version. Like, PS2 stuff, like, everything. And I want to know as much about it as I possibly can. Because it's ridiculously expensive. But if it can do everything and it connects to HDMI, not only would that give me something to, you know, research stuff while I'm in bed, but it would give me something to record stuff off of as well. I'm going to open that up, and I'm probably going to have to mute that so it doesn't immediately. That is not the video I took a look at. I'll show you the ones I did when I'm done this. I'm dead now. Thanks a lot. I can't get mad at you, though. You sent me this. This is really cool. I wonder how many people know about Star X. I mean, I know about it, but... And I mean, I'm playing it right now, but... Like, really, genuinely, I barely know about this game. Yeah, I watched a different video about the Metroid Pocket 2 Plus. And what I took away from it is it can do a lot of stuff well. It can do Dreamcast really well. It has a lot of trouble, like, PS1, though. And like, PS2 stuff. And it can do some things like GameCube, but only if you fiddle with, like, the settings for every single game. And it can't, like, do PS2 at all. In fact, the person I watched basically summarized that it likely won't be until, like, a whole new generation of these things until, you know, PS2 is even possible, but... And maybe I misinterpreted what they said, but, like, a generation of pirate handhelds is, like, a week. Because, like, only a couple months ago, the original Metroid Pocket 2 came out. And I think computers can do PS2 relatively well. I know my brother played some stuff on the PS2 on his PC just because he didn't want to wait for me to hand over the PS2. And he said it worked pretty well. but you know, he might have not been doing terribly interesting or like intensive games. Either way, you know, I'm interested in the Metroid Pocket 2, and it's about $100. The biggest issue for me is you have to order it like 35 days in advance, I think, or something like that. And then, at least right now, shipping anything takes like 2 months at least. So I'm not too jazzed about that. Whereas the Odin can apparently do everything, like, including PS2. Apparently, at least from what I've heard. But it's, like, ridiculously expensive. Like, if you want the big fancy version, it's which will actually be able to do all that stuff, it's like $500. And you have to buy it off Kickstarter, which is a bit sketch. But I have to admit, if it can do that, that'd be pretty impressive. My problem with it, though, other than all the other problems I have with it, is that it seems to be about the size of the Switch. And as I said at the start, my benchmark for something being a portable is that you can fit it in your pocket, and you can't do that with a Switch. Unless you've got, like, giant-ass pockets, but, you know, I don't think I can fit a Switch in my pocket. I also feel like this is the moment where I point out I'm not anti-Switch being in handheld mode. And I feel I need to stress that because I get lots and lots of hate messages every day thinking that that's the case. Just because at one point I made an anecdote that I'd never seen anyone actually use the Switch in handheld mode, and I still haven't, to be fair. But my point was more, when you design a game entirely for handheld mode and ignore the, like, console mode, that's not a good design choice. That was my point. I'm sorry if that made me seem hostile to people who like their Switch in handheld mode. That's genuinely not what I was going for. And I don't know why I'm bothering to clarify, because, let's be honest, no one watches my Let's Plays or anything like this. And I'm just going to continue to get hate. Yeah, it's true. Alright, well, I think we're done here. That's Star X, though. It's this. What would be a good one? Oh, I know. Well, let's play a must-have import. I can think of like 800 now, but let's see. It's one I reviewed forever ago. Let's play Densetsu no Staffy. The legendary Starfy, as it was in English, I believe. Also known as Kirby Underwater, basically. Oh, this is a fun little series. This little starfish! You can push blocks and collect things. And in later games, you can collect things that, like, change your profile image so you can wear hats and stuff. You can glide. Starfy's a great series. It's not a complicated series by any means, but it's a nice little game if you. It's like the perfect import, I think. It's uncomplicated. It's easy to pick up and play. You don't need to understand the language to be able to play it. You might have to be better at games than I am to actually play it successfully, but there we go. Dash. I believe we need a thing to break that. You know, I've never played the English Starfy game. I think there's like 5 of the 2, but like one of them was in English. Never had a chance to play it. It was a DS game. It's pretty rare now. It's unfortunate. Because these games are pretty great. We got a kettle. I can give that to our crab friend. Oh, that's not where we want to go. We want to go this way. Meow. And now our friend is happy and we get a key. Hooray! I know it'd be fun to play. Maybe we'll do that later. In Japan, there was an F-Zero game on the Game Boy Advance that was just, like, ridiculously good. Like, I've heard the other Game Boy Advance F-Zero games are pretty good, but I've heard, like, the Japanese exclusive one is, like, just way better than anything else. I always wanted to give that one a shot. Maybe we'll do that. Alright, we got a little horn. Oh, we can play the Precure game, too. That'd be pretty fun, too. It's been forever since I reviewed that. I got a horn. Give me a thing. I think now we actually have a means of attacking. This is a character you'd recognize from Smash Brothers. And that one awesome review of this game that I made forever ago. So you can't overspin or you get dizzy. So you gotta be careful about your spinniness. Bop. Look at that face. It's really surprising we never got these in English, because they're kind of perfect games for it. Here, have your shell back. There we go. Now our crab friend is happy. And that's pretty accurate to actual hermit crabs. They change their shells all the time when they get bigger. But they don't necessarily always wear shells. Sometimes they'll just wear random junk that they find in the ocean. Mission 2, fish is a jerk. Beat up fish. Save your clam friend. I think it's supposed to be like a big tough guy. But first you have to follow fish to rough him up. He was up here. I don't know where fish went. Woo! Let's go this way. I wonder how many FPSs the GBA got. I know it got a version of Duke Nukem. And I think it got a version of Doom as well, and I don't think either of them were particularly good. Okay, game. I see what you're getting at. I can't go there yet. Let's try this one. I see. Okay. You never picked the last one. That's a rookie mistake. Well, to be fair, there's a bubble in that water stream that you can tell looks a little different. So I guess there's like a visual thing. One of these fish is the one I want to beat up. I'm guessing it's this way. We just gotta remember the fish we want to beat up and what he looks like. There you go. And we saved our clam friend. Oh, nice. You saw Atelier Iris 3? Those games are really hard to find, man. Man, I'd put those up where with, like, Artonal Lico and Mana Khemia. They're just really hard to find games. What a mean crab that's legally distinct from the other crab. Were they late? I just know that the Artonalico games and Manakamias are really hard to find. And I've been trying forever. I just thought they were like RPGs and limited print sort of things. Really? 06? You know, I say 06 like that's late, but I'm pretty sure the PS2 was making games until 2016 with the yearly like FIFAs and whatever. But still, that's pretty impressive. How expensive was Atelier Aris? I'm curious how expensive that would be. Because I can't imagine it would be cheap. Bop. Haha. Help me open doors. Yeah, about 150. That sounds about right. That's really expensive. I think I might need to come back after I grab something. Let's try going back through this door. I mean, at least you've got places where you can find PS2 games. I can't even do that. There's like no places with games anymore. We're missing a thing for there. I'm starting to feel like this is a little bit like Kirby 3. You know? Solve this person's problem. Get a star drop or whatever. Collect the pieces of Rob. Don't step on the flowers. Man, I want to play Kirby 3 again. That game was good. Underrated, too. Like, no one played Kirby 3. Oh. I am so jealous you've got retro game stores near you. I do not. At least for a little while, we had, like, one that was in a farmer's market. But the lady who ran it, like, she was charging double eBay prices. So, unless you found something unbelievably rare there, like, it just wasn't worth going there. I wish we had, like, retro game shops here. But considering that there's no places here for games, period, you know, there's just, like, zero chance any of it would ever be affordable. Yeah, eBay prices are pretty bad, but, you know, when you more than double it, that's a problem. I think my classic go-to way of explaining prices in this town when we did have games were Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt, like the cheapest game you can ever buy. You can get it for like a penny, no problem. Yeah, here you'd pay about 50 bucks. And everyone would try and tell you it was like the rarest game ever made by man. You sold your Vitas? Shouldn't sell Vitas. They're awesome. I say that like I'm an expert in Vitas. I've got a PS TV that doesn't work properly. And can't play half the games even if it did, so, you know. That's a scorpion fish. Those are highly poisonous. I pretend like I know sea life terribly well. I live in the mountains. But I did want to be a marine biologist for a lot of my life, so... Or at least I studied a lot of marine biology, so, you know, I know a fair bit. I wish the PS TV could actually do stuff and actually, like, play games. Like, the thing that annoys me about it is, I bought it, it was very expensive, and all the Vita games I wanted to play for it didn't work with it. So I've got a PS TV and I've got one Vita game for it. I'm not sure I would say that the PSP was super great. Maybe I didn't get to experience all that many great games for it, but thinking about the PSP, there was only like 2 or 3 games on it I really, really loved. God Eater, which got remade, Half Minute Hero, which got remade, and Girl Lancer, which was a remake. And that was kind of it for the PSP for me. Like, I've got a fair few PSP games, but I just don't have many I care about. And to be fair, I can't even play my PSP. The battery on it, like, swelled up and popped up the back thing, so I need to get, like, a new battery for it. I can't bother Mr. Whale yet. He's in a lot of pain. You have to do something. These blocks weren't here before, though. Nor were these spiky things. And I think those water bubbles are going to push me into the spiky things. You should avoid those. I know the PSP had that, like, weird-ass, like, visual novel where you played as Keiji Inafune's niece for some reason. I think that was, like, the last PSP game to come out, too. That's one I want to get just for how bizarre it is, more than anything. Also, it had that weird sequel to Parasite Eve that no one realizes is a sequel to Parasite Eve. And had, like, the mechanics of your clothes are ripping, so you better swap them, and also it's there for fan service, but who's there for that? I don't know, the only other thing I can think of for the PSP that was really there for me was you could play imports on it, and that meant that I got to finally get to experience more great battle games because they kind of restarted on the PSP. Yes, I remember your story about the 3rd birthday. I really should try and get the other games in the series. I only have the first one, but at the same time, I know they're expensive, and I've heard the second one isn't that great, and the third one is really wildly not great. And, like I said, my PSP's kind of busted anyway. If I recall, this enemy gets bigger every time you hit him, or I'm confusing with several other enemies that rotate around screens like that. Oh no, we're getting jabu'd. I think, from what I hear, like, the issues with Parasite Eve 3 is, or 2, was that it wasn't so much that it wasn't the first one again, so much as it was really, really dumbed down. Like, the first game was, like, Square Enix's attempt at making, like, an RPG that was kind of like Resident Evil, and then Parasite Eve 2 was, like, them giving up and just saying, let's just make knockoff Resident Evil. That's what I heard about it. I like the original Parasite Eve. I thought it was really cool. I like Aya as a character, but I've always been about badass female characters. I mean, one of my favorite characters growing up was Xena and Wonder Woman. I like strong female characters. Samus is probably my favorite Nintendo character of all time. So, you know, characters like Aya, I like characters like that. They're cool. Ah, come on. Whoop. Whoa, no, don't want to get knocked back. Okay, let's take a moment to readjust. We are actually falling. Their gravity does still take effect underwater, so we gotta be careful about that. Ah, so what you mean is it plays a lot like Deep Fear, the superior Resident Evil 2, that everyone knows about. Man, I want to play some Deep Fear again. One of these years for Halloween, I'm gonna do Deadly Premonition. I keep saying I'm gonna do it. One of these days I'll actually do it. And one of these Halloweens I'll do Blue Stinger. But given that my Dreamcast is falling apart, it'll probably be after I get something that can play Dreamcast games well. So, you know, maybe the Retroid. Maybe that's my solution. Or maybe the Odin for its ridiculous sum of money. I've never actually played Resident Evil 2. I played the original Resident Evil. I've got the super awesome version. Okay, we gotta... I've said it before, but if you want to play Resident Evil, you gotta get the Saturn version. The Japanese Saturn version, because that's the version that has all the extra crap. That even to this day, there is no other one that's more definitive than that version. But I played the first one, and I played the fourth one, and that's about it. I don't know, I remember Resident Evil 4 being the first one I ever played, and I played it after everyone said it was like one of the best games ever, and I'm like, well, it's an okay action game, but I wouldn't say it's a horror game. And in some respects, that's better for me, because I don't do horror so well, but at the same time, you know, I felt like Resident Evil 4 didn't really feel like it was living up to the Resident Evil name so much. Okay, we can't rescue her yet. So let's go over here. Man, the GBA had so many really cool games on it. Oh god, I'm dizzy. Oh god, that's not good. In here. Oh, I'd like to heal. Oh, we've got our new friend, Mr. Octopus. Whoa, okay. Thanks, Mr. Octopus, I think. Oh yeah, he gave us Super Spin. Because why just have spin when you can Super Spin? Kind of makes the original spin that you get kind of redundant, though. I'm back, Mr. Octopod. I think I can break those things now. Yay! Time to grab the heels. Thanks, Mermaid Lady. Okay, where do we go now? I guess we need to find blocks that can be broken with Super Spin. Like these ones. I get what this game is laying down. Alright. I don't know what kind of fish you're supposed to be. Fish don't typically have hair, as far as I'm aware. Except for catfish, and even then, those are not really hair. I know they're called whiskers, but they're not really that. Alright. I think we might have everything we need to go rescue. Nope. Not yet. That's fine. Alright. Where else can we go that has the power to be broken using Super Spin? Try going this way. Where we can now face the currents. So let's go this way. Oh, we got some more people. We're doing things. I got a teddy bear. Now they look happy. And I think we've now just got a cake. I could go for some cake, man. I haven't had cake in forever. Cake is delicious. Now I was thinking about it. I'm not really all that into sweet stuff, really. Like, I'll drink cola all the time, but that's just how I get my caffeine. I don't like candy all that much. The only pie I really like is pumpkin. You know, cookies don't really do anything for me. But I like cake. Cake is good. Okay. I'm not sure if we did all the things right, if we have to go back to you. I guess we've already done everything you've got. Okay. Can't break that. Our friend seems to have gone, so we might actually have everything we need right now. Ah, yes. The screen is scrolling, therefore it's showing us something new. Hooray! I think that's supposed to be an anthropomorphized conch shell. Or maybe one of those weird giant isopods. Okay, so we gotta get through that door. Which I'm inclined to think is this way. There it is. And that healing point tells me there's a boss. And the skull above the door. Pop. Pop. There we go. Big angry fish. That might be a lizard, I'm not sure. It's kind of got legs looking things. Now he's covered in scales, that's not ideal. Okay. Well, clearly we can't just hit him. Let's try this. I'm gonna sit right here next to that wall. Ah. I get what I'm supposed to do, it's just the how of it. Gotta get him to run into the wall, obviously. There we go. Oh. Oh well. Let's try something else. We could do the Precure game, that might be pretty fun. Or F-Zero. Or we could do both. Let's see. Would that be under F? Whoop, boop, ba-doop, 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 Let's see, which is it? This is it. I reviewed this forever ago. This game's really quite good. So let's play some Precure. Which is basically a thing that tried to be Sailor Moon well after Sailor Moon. And quite successful because, I mean, I think they're on their like 200th series at this point. Because there's like a brand new series every year. I tried to watch one of them many, many years ago in preparation for reviewing this game, and all I remember about it is the ending sequences are hilariously awkward CGI idol song and dance scenes. Well, this game's kind of a nice and legit platformer. Also, you can kick forward and it's like the best thing ever. I remember the forward dash kick just being the best thing in this game. And that you fight just random crap that's evil for some reason. Like everything in this game, for some reason, is just random stuff that turns evil for some reason. Which, to be fair, is pretty accurate to Precure from what I remember. Oh, gotta do a bonus stage. Oh, you can fall slightly slower or faster. You can also get like a dollhouse with your characters, and they can play hide and seek in it. It's not the most engaging game to ever play, but it's not a bad game. If you just want a solid, fundamentally good platformer, this one's probably it. Although it does get kind of like weirdly hard at times. Hooray! Alright. More hearts for me, that I don't think I actually needed. Oh, look at the nice balloons that become evil balloons because reasons. Alright. Alright, now we have to protect our little stuffed animal friend. Because mascots, and he wants to ride the tram. And if I recall, like, giant crabs come to try and stop it or something. I'm sad that I remembered that they were giant crabs. That feels like something that's more or less unremarkable and could have been anything, and I don't know why I remembered it. The specifics there bother me. Oh no, you're going all the way back, aren't you? Come on. Whoa! There we go. Mission complete. Onward. For the power of the moon, or whatever malarkey these girls fight for. And there's our dollhouse furniture for the day. And we're just gonna run like hell because there's not really a benefit to fighting stuff in this game. It's a thing you can do, I guess, but it's not really a thing that benefits anyone. I want that dress-up furniture. I think the other Precure game on the GBA was like a point-and-click adventure, and I've heard it's not bad, but this is the better one of the two. Woo! Alright. Hooray! We did a thing. We got a little desk and a little table. Or a chair, rather. I don't know what the plot is. I don't care. Oh, I remember this girl. She is the best character in the game because she's the worst character ever. She has like the single most obnoxious voice clips ever. She just like screams at the top of her lungs every time you like dash kick. Which is of course the thing you're going to be doing all the time. I want to say her name was Cure Princess. Versus the other two, which were Cure Black and Cure White, the original Precure girls. If I recall, from a series I've never actually seen. Because I watched later Precure. You know, every now and then I kind of think maybe I should try and watch this stuff. And then I think no. And then I think maybe. And then I just go watch Madoka. And then there was a magical girl from the 80s who actually did some like really dark, traumatic stuff as well. Like Madoka was far from like the first like magic girl that tried to do deep, dark stuff. I think Madoka was like the first real deconstruction of the thing, but she was not the first like dark and disturbed magic girl, not by a long shot. Still, Madoka was pretty good. I watched that forever ago. Like, probably, oh gosh, 4 or 5 years ago now. Actually, I want to say watching Madoka was probably what got me into Precure to begin with. Whoa there, hit detection. Grab that. No problem. Doing well is what ends up getting us life, so we don't want to screw this up if we can help it. And we've not timed. So we can take our time and collect all the things. And it's not really hard. So we might as well. Okay. Just gonna rapid tap that so we don't lose any height. We're good. We got this, no problem. Alright. There we go. Grab that. Grab that. More little sparkly bits for us. Whoop. I get real close to those spikes sometimes. I think we're good. Oh, but there's more sparkles. Need the sparkles. Okay. There we go. 27 sparkly bits that time. Alright, so that's 2, 3... 4, 5, all the life, more than I could ever stand, and then I promptly waste all of it. Oh, that's kind of nice. I had enough in reserve that they basically gave me one. That's cool. Hooray. Oh no, we have to fight the haunted Ferris wheel now. By screeching our lungs off and catapulting ourselves into things. Okay, you just respawn, that's fine. There we go. The Ferris wheel has been restored. And thus, so has justice. Or some malarkey. Ah! Okay. So let's just roll this down over here. Whoop! Let's go over here. Just a bit more over here. I think we're good. Alright. I want all the treasure. Last I checked, this game is pretty cheap too, so it's like, it's not the most fantastic game ever, but, you know, it's not a bad import. If you want to work on an import library, I'd say it's one worth grabbing. Whoop, whoop. Got another house mabob. Climb, 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 climb. Kick. I do believe that's the end of the stage. Alright. Got a little aloe vera for our room. Ah, sweet. Go-kart. I've actually never driven a go-kart before. Ah. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's gonna help. That's just gonna block the spikes. Don't worry about it. Although, had I not messed that up to begin with, it wouldn't have mattered much. The popcorn machine spit molten popcorn at you. That's cool. Woo! Boing! Okay. Let's try this again. I messed that up pretty bad. Up. Up. There we go. Oh, unfair parasol. Run, 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 run. Alright, there we go. And now we have to fight a haunted drop tower. I remember this. And I have no health, so that's good. Come on, evil woodpeckers fighting with the haunted drop tower for some reason. Let's get this going. Ah, and we died. Alas. Yes, I would like to change game packs, and by that I mean restart. Now, I gotta remember what this is called. Let's see. Okay. I believe it's F-Zero Climax. I think this is the really good Japanese exclusive one. And it seems to be in Japanese, so that might be good. No data. And yet we have to enter our name in English. Because Japanese exclusive.
Select your mode. Grand Prix. Select your class. Select your difficult run. Choose your
It's been forever since I played F-Zero, so let's hope I don't suck entirely. Let's go with the classic Blue Falcon. I don't know what any of that says. Let's go.
Three, two, one, fire.
All right. I'm going to try and figure out what the controls are.
Take it easy. You got it.
Okay.
There's another racer on your tail.
And there's English voice acting, because of course there is. Because Japanese exclusive.
2 laps to go. You've got a new booster.
Alright. There's the boost. I probably used that at a really not great time, but we'll be fine. I mean, it's novice level 1. They like literally give you novice level 1 pretty much every F-Zero. Except maybe GX. I've actually never played F-Zero GX. I feel bad about that. That's one of the many GameCube games I still want to get. Unfortunately, like, all of the GameCube games ever are really quite hard to get a hold of nowadays. Like, even the common ones seem to be really expensive for no real reason. Oh, we made it in 5th. Could be better. Could be worse. I'll take it. Alright.
3, 2, 1, fire!
There we go. Got a little bit of a boost there. Not sure why I'm losing, like, all my speed immediately after that.
You're moving up.
Alright. Whoa, okay. Okay. I need to really ease up on the gas. Get around those curves. Okay, there we go. Not bad.
2 laps to go. You've got a new booster.
Alright. See if we can get into 1st this time. I mean, we are in 1st, but let's see if we can hold it.
Watch your back.
Ah. I'm smart enough to know when to use the boost, too. Holy crap, he's super far ahead.
Hang in there.
Alright, we got this.
You're moving up. You're holding the lead. You've got a new booster.
Okay, that was bad. Made a real pig's breakfast out of that.
Way to go.
And I think I'm about to die. Well, I could have died, so, you know, I guess that was okay comparatively to the worst possible scenario. Still, we're in like 6th now. That's not so good. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, not sure why it just drops. Maybe I have to, like, let go of the accelerator temporarily or something. Because maybe that only covers, like, the first initial, like, startup boost or whatever. Alright. Just be careful. Let's just be careful.
Good job.
Whoa.
Looks like you're getting a hang.
Alright. Grab all the healing we can. Alright, we're good.
2 laps to go.
We're doing okay.
Got a new booster.
Haven't crashed yet. Crashed just there. That's fine.
Good job.
Whoop, whoop. Okay. Well, we could be doing better. Don't crash. Still, this is a really fun game.
Take it easy.
And then there was, of course, the F-Zero game that came at launch, which I hear was okay. And then there was, like, one tied to the very short-lived F-Zero anime that I hear is kind of underwhelming. Like, it's probably better than any anime tie-in has any right to be like that, but... Oh, that's bad. That's really not good. Alright, we got this. I'd like to not come in last. And that took up a huge chunk of my health. Let's be careful, shall we?
Got a new booster. Fire.
Ha!
Congratulations.
That's how we do.
You won 1st place.
I'll take 1st place. And now we're in second. Nice. Alright.
3, 2, 1. Fire.
There we go. I just let my finger off the accelerator. That seemed to prevent us from slowing down. Although I did hit a boost pad at the same time, so who knows. Correlation might not be causation, is what I'm saying. Whoa, whoa! Ice is a bit slippy. And no one ever liked Slippy. He was the worst member of Team Star Fox. Whoa! Alright, we're doing okay. Doing okay. It doesn't control the way you, like, think. Because you're kind of, like, controlling, like, a rotation. And suddenly my throat is swelling up, so it's hard to talk. But yeah, you've got, like, a sort of lateral side-to-side control on your, like that, on your shoulder buttons. And then aiming forward is just a matter of holding down the accelerator and then rotating. It's a bit weird to try and control this. This is the short version of the story. Ah, well, we came in second that time. Not bad. Could be worse. Could be better. I'll take second.
You won second place.
I'm almost out of water. That's not good. Oh, we're 4 points away from the first place. We gotta be careful. We gotta come in first. Here we go.
2, 1. Fire.
Oh, nope. Oh, and those are mines. Okay, well, I tried feathering the accelerator there, and we still kind of stopped afterwards, so that's not how we do that. Like I said, correlation isn't necessarily causation, and that seems to be very much the case there. Whoa, let's not land in the lava. Alright.
2 laps to go. You've got a new booster.
Oh, don't want to run into those.
Looks like you're getting the hang of it. Good job. Watch your back.
It's alright. Whoa!
You're moving up.
I'm moving up, except I'm not. Genuinely, I'm not moving up.
Take it easy.
Because I can't see first place. And I need to come in first if I have any chance of beating this guy.
You've got a new booster. Way to go. Fire. Go.
Oh, 7th. Yeah, that's no good. I sincerely doubt we took first this time. Oh, 3rd. Also, we lost points. I'm pretty sure we were at 445. But, okay. Still, overall, ranked 3rd. Not bad for my first time playing it. But, you know, we've been doing this for about 2 hours. I think that'll be it for tonight. But I hope you enjoyed me trying to explore my Everdrive and playing some interesting games I never had a chance to play before. Never got a chance to play this before, certainly. It's actually quite a rare and expensive Game Boy Advance game. It's quite good. And this was probably the only way I was going to ever have a chance to play it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, follow the stream when we go live, because we try and stream as often as possible. Should be back with Open Nut tomorrow. Might be able to finish Live Alive after that and start our new round of Let's Plays moving forward, so that's pretty good. You must want to check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel, see everything else I do, which is a lot of stuff. I believe I'm going to have a review out tomorrow, or the next day, we'll see, but look forward to that. And if you really want to make my day, check out the show's PayPal or Patreon. Support the show any way you can so that I can continue to do what I do to the best of my ability, which in this case is explore my vast knowledge of weird, obscure Game Boy Advance stuff that no one else ever heard of, and some of the stuff I've never had a chance to play. Because that was very fun, and I look forward to exploring more of the Game Boy Advance now that I have a way of pretty much consolidating my entire library onto a single card, and you know, putting out my DS and playing it 20 minutes before bed in the entire extent of my DS's battery. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, Internet.